to do that? Like, if you had a portrait of yourself hanging in your room, wouldn't you be like every day, that's a sexy motherfucker?
No, absolutely not. I'm a normal human being.
But I'm just saying,
I
like,
would not do that.
Is your mic even on?
Yeah.
Because I can barely hear you.
he's not talking.
I'm fine.
Oh, yeah, you're fine. But
I have great audio over here.
put your headsets on.
I don't need to.
Okay. But, yeah, I mean, you're telling me you wouldn't, wake up every morning to a picture of yourself and like, God damn, that's a sexy motherfucker.
No.
Really? Why not?
That means you're too into yourself.
You're not conceited?
Hell no.
Why not?
Why are you?
Because it's how you got to love yourself to love life.
Yeah,
you know
but not that much.
Really? Do you not love yourself enough?
I love myself, but to have a picture of myself hang that bro, that
Really?
yeah, fuck all that.
Okay,
that's
you don't
weird.
look at yourself.
I think that's weird.
Okay, but like, all right, you get out of the shower and you're looking in the mirror and you're like, damn, you don't give yourself compliments?
So, well, I'm on a fitness journey right now, so yeah, I can see progress I'm doing, and I can say I'm feeling good about my way I'm looking right now, but I'm definitely nowhere where I want to be.
So you do give yourself compliments every day.
But I don't have a fucking picture hanging in my room.
I'm just saying, like, all right, take a very old picture, one of you before you started your fitness journey, and how you would, and compared to now, you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't like look at that picture and be like,
yeah, but I don't have pictures, bro. Do you have a picture of you in your room?
I do.
Gay.
Why? What's so gay about that?
Oh, are you recording?
Mm-hmm. Welcome to Shoot the Shit podcast, coming to you live from beautiful sunny California. I'm your host, Big P, and this is my co-host, Mr. Motherfucking J.
Yo.
And our producer, of course, Big George in the house. Yeah. Give it up for him. Give it up for him, everybody. Thank you. All imaginary
that one
fans.
dude that gets me every time. He's like, yeah.
Yeah. Damn. Somebody ripped some ass around here.
That's hella funny.
Yeah. So, we got an interesting episode for everybody today.
What you got for me?
All right. So, have you ever heard of the Danny Phantom and Timmy Turner conspiracy?
Yeah. Explain it more.
All right. So, they're actually the same person with, like, same ideas and same, like, personalities and stuff like that. It says that, like, Timmy Turner uses his fairy godparents to wish himself as like a ghost like himself.
It was supposed to be his final wish, right? Because he was about to turn 13, so he's about to lose his fairy godparents.
Yeah.
So he made one final wish, and
where he becomes Danny Phantom.
Yeah.
And he can fight in like the supernatural world and stuff, like ghost like stuff and shit.
Yeah.
So,
that's why if you look at some of the characters too, some of the characters are very like similar looking.
Oh yeah, no. But also people say, well, it can't happen because it shouldn't happen, or there's no similarities, because they say that they're in the same timeline of the show running, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, it doesn't matter. There's many shows out there that are in the same timeline that are running, at the same time.
Yeah.
So you can't say just because they're running at the same time that it can't happen. You never know. He can be 13 years old and wishes himself as Danny Phantom and becomes Danny Phantom and embraces that, so he can go in. And one of the things I believe is, like, he goes into the supernatural realm to look for his fairy godparents, because remember, you lose all memory of your
Yeah, that's what happened to what was the teacher's name?
Crocker,
Yeah, Crocker.
Mr. Crocker, fairy godparents.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that's why he goes into the supernatural world, and because he thinks he can.
Trying to find something that he doesn't know what he's looking for. Pretty
Right.
much. Yeah.
But I also think that's also BS too, because I think he actually knows what he's looking for, but it's just a distant memory for him until he runs into that one thing that may give
It's like
him,
a dream.
Right.
Yeah.
But how does Crocker, who had
Crocker was crazy, man.
yeah, but he
was
had good
crazy.
fairy
Yeah.
godparents, but he still remembers in his own sick way. You know what I mean? So what if Timmy Turner, as Danny Phantom, knows that, and that's why he's in the supernatural realm, and then he has to fight all these ghost-like things to figure out what it is. You know what I mean?
That's a good possibility.
Like, you know, they kind of have the same powers and stuff like that, and you know, I think there's a good, you know, if they would to elaborate on that more. You know what I mean? But I don't know. That's what I believe. So
I think that's not a bad theory, because I have heard about people talking about Danny Phantom and Fairly Odd Parents being the same because of how similar the characters are. It's made by the same creator and everything, so it's very possible. But a lot of those shows, like a lot of cartoon shows, and same thing with like Disney and stuff too, they're all like connected to each other one way or another. You know,
yeah,
they're all supposed to be part of the same like universe, if you want to say so.
right.
You know, because I have a theory too on. Do you remember the show Rugrats?
Yeah.
So Rugrats, it was a bunch of little babies running around getting into mischief, right? So there's a theory about how all the kids weren't even really alive. They're all a part of Angelica's imagination.
Oh,
You heard about that one?
yeah.
So the theory is Tommy, I don't remember exactly, but Tommy passed away when he was young, so that's why his dad makes all the toys to kind of fill the void of losing his son. So that's why he's just frantically working in his basement all the time.
Right.
Chucky's dad, you know how Chucky's dad was very like on edge all the time.
Yeah, like
always
one of those, like
yeah, he's like tweaking damn near.
yeah.
So the reason why is because you remember how Chucky's mom passed away when he was when he was a baby?
Yeah.
So apparently that Chucky passed away with his mom, and that's why he's like that. You know, Phil and Lil, the twins.
Yeah.
So Angelica. So what happened was that what is it called? The mom for Phil and Lil was pregnant, but she had a miscarriage, and so they never knew what the baby was gonna be. So instead of deciding between a boy or a girl, Angelica thought of twins, and so she just imagines twins, a boy and a girl.
Right.
You know?
Right. I can see that.
So there's a huge conspiracy theory on that, but it kind of makes sense. And you know how Angelica has that like Barbie toy, Cynthia. I think it was Cynthia.
Cynthia. Yeah.
So Cynthia, why she clings on to Cynthia so much is because it reminds her of her mom. And the mom that we see in the TV show is not actually her mom; it's her stepmom. She's that stepmom that's like, you know, like the gold digging stepmom that took over because her dad's rich and stuff like that.
Right.
And so that's why she never really got along with her mom, because it's her stepmom. It's not a real mom. And that's why she gets so attached to that doll.
See, you know what I heard about that too as well. I heard that it could be her stepmom or her adoptive mom. Like it's her adopted mom.
Well, it would be her stepmom because she married her dad, so that would be her stepmom.
No, like not like like her mom didn't marry her dad or anything. It's just her adopted mom. You get what I'm saying? Like,
but the parents are together.
Yeah, but let's say like what I mean, like they adopted her. That's what I mean.
But that's her real dad.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, like
you can't adopt your own child.
I know that, but what I'm saying, that's not her real dad. One of the conspiracies I've heard was like that's not her real parents.
Oh, so that's not even the family?
Yeah, like they're just her adoptive parents. That's what I've heard. One of the conspiracies I've heard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. So that's why she doesn't get along with them. You know what I mean? She favors the dad more, you know what I mean? But she doesn't
the mom?
Yeah, the mom no, because they don't get along and stuff like that. So that's what I've heard on that. But I've also heard she's also like in a psych ward, you know what I mean? And she's built
She's
those,
crazy.
Yeah, she's built those friends.
Things,
like she's built all those friends around her and stuff like that. And you know,
Yeah, there's a lot of like deep. If people really deep into it, like dive into it, there's a lot of deep like meanings to some of these shows that people don't realize. Same thing, like Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh. Each one of those animals is based off of like a symptom. Like fucking Pooh is, I think,
Anxiety.
yeah, no. Anxiety was the rabbit. Anxiety was the rabbit. Tigger was ADHD. Eeyore was depression. Yeah, Eeyore was depression.
Yeah.
And Christopher, who's the main guy.
Yeah.
He was everyone. Like each one of those animals was part of his syndrome. Like he just had multiple different type of like syndromes.
That Disney Inside Out, I believe it was, where it's got all the emotions.
Kind of, but no, this is like more dark than that.
More dark than that.
Oh yeah.
So what was Piglet?
What was Piglet?
Piglet lonely, because Piglet was always the outcast, right?
I think so.
Because he was always, like Winnie the Pooh was always like trying to bring Piglet along, and always felt like out of like didn't fit in. You know what I mean? Like always felt like he was always alone or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what I believe that was. Piglet was.
Pooh suffers from an eating disorder.
Because he loves honey.
Yeah, Pooh suffers from an eating disorder. Eeyore suffers from depression. Tigger, ADHD. And then there's Piglet. Oh, Piglet has anxiety.
Oh, Piglet was anxiety?
Yeah.
Huh. I would have figured more. I don't know. I think that would have been more of a loneliness for Piglet, but
yeah, no, there's especially older cartoons, man. The older cartoons are the ones where you actually have a lot more conspiracies, because they were kind of like more in depth with it. You know about the Flintstone one, right? So the Flintstone is supposed to be in a post-apocalyptic future. So something happened to the world. You could say nuclear war or whatnot, but something happened to the world.
Oh,
and now
back into like the Stone Age.
Yeah, they had to restart from the beginning, so Stone Age. But what makes the theory is that if you really think about it, is they have TVs, they have dishwashers, garbage disposal, like they have cranes and stuff, but they're using animals, so they're like using what they have. And back then they didn't have that, so that's where the whole theory for the post-apocalyptic comes in. And same thing was the Jetsons.
Yeah.
So Jetsons is supposed to be before what is it called, the Flintstones. So
that was their world before.
No, because if you think the Jetsons lived in the sky.
Correct.
So what the theory was that we must have had a huge like nuclear fallout on Earth, so everyone had to leave Earth, go up in the sky to live life. And then when Earth came back to normal again, that's when they came down. And that's when the Flintstones happened.
Interesting. I thought it would have been differently.
No,
I thought it would have been like the Jetsons were the start of it. I know timeline wise, the Flintstones were out before the Jetsons. But if you think about it, if the Jetsons were living in the sky, this advanced civilization, think about like, all right, you have dishwashers, TVs, and the Flintstone. Well, how would they get that stuff if they didn't have it before? So
so that's what I'm saying.
If the Jetsons world came to an end, let's say the Jetsons worlds came to an end, and that's how they still have some technology, but not all. Yeah. And they had to restart from the ground
there's
up.
Also another,
you know what I mean?
There's also another theory that says that they're both part of the exact same timeline, that the Jetsons and the Flintstones are the exact same timeline. But the only difference is that if you live up in the sky, with the Jetsons, you're considered high class because they got robots and everything.
Right.
So if you're considered low class and you don't really have much, that's why you're on Earth and you're living like a caveman.
I heard something about that.
Yeah.
I just never paid full attention to
it.
I just heard
there's hella different theories on it.
When you said they think of you differently when you were lower than the sky or whatever.
Living on Earth. Yeah.
Living on Earth. I heard about that. I was like, oh, interesting. No wonder there's a society up there and there's a society down there. Because I always wondered that, but then
aliens are real,
right?
Wouldn't be surprised.
Hey, think about it. Well, I mean, with current day technology and stuff like that, things going the way they are. I mean, we're starting to see AI robots come out. You know what I mean? Like, we are headed in that direction right now. Like our advancement in technology is coming to that now. So some of these TV shows that were running in the 90s and the 80s and stuff are coming true today. You know what I mean? We're starting to see a lot of that stuff come true today. So like the Jetsons, for instance, they have robots doing things for them. Well, very soon we may have that soon because Elon Musk and Tesla is working on the what's called the Optimus robot. You know what I mean? So I think that's our society is heading that way. I mean, we're starting to see that now. So only thing we're missing is flying cars. You know what I mean?
At this point, you're.
So we're almost to that section
Getting
of
close
ours.
to it, yeah.
And they say Earth is like maybe 25 billion years old or whatever, and we're just now getting to that. You know what I mean? Part of our lives and stuff.
I see these memes all the time where it's like back in the 80s and 90s we were promised flying cars.
Yeah.
It's 2025 and we.
You should talk in your mic.
So
that way everyone, you know what I mean?
I forgot the rest of the meme. No, I should have had that on top of my head. It's like it's 2025 and this is what we have.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. It's in the 80s and the 90s we were promised flying cars. Today we can't figure out if it's a boy or a girl.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, that was it. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's hilarious. But no, I mean honestly, our civilization is getting to that point, and we'll see what happens after that. So
Yeah.
But if you think about it, it's all of these things are coming true in today's society. So that's one thing that I think there's a lot of optimism about it, but there's also
talking about like the Simpsons predicting the future.
Yeah,
Damn near.
God.
Yeah.
One
They're
thing.
really good at it, man. They've done it multiple different times already now.
Oh yeah. But if you're the SpongeBob theories, the 7 deadly sins that's connected to SpongeBob.
Go ahead, tell me.
All right.
Oh, Mr. Krabs is 100% greed.
All right, so SpongeBob SquarePants is that each character represents one of the 7 deadly sins.
Okay.
So the theory is Mr. Krabs greed because he would sell SpongeBob's soul for 62 cents. You know what I mean? Patrick, sloth because he's unemployed and lazy. Squidward, wrath, because he hates everything, and SpongeBob. Plankton, envy, because he's jealous of Mr. Krabs' success. Gary, Giltoni, Gluttony. Gluttony, yeah. Because he eats a lot of food and often focuses on eating. Sandy, pride, because she's proud of being a scientist from Texas.
Yeah.
And SpongeBob, lust. Lust, like he's just everything, you know what I mean? So I could see the correlation to each character.
Yeah,
you know
no, definitely.
Like,
I can see that.
SpongeBob's, or not SpongeBob, Plankton's envy to Mr. Krabs' success, Mr. Krabs' greed, and, he would sell ultimately SpongeBob for $1 pretty much. You know what I mean? So
will do anything for $1.
Hey, remember the SpongeBob episode where Mr. Krabs passes out and SpongeBob has to how they use Narcan, breaks the dollar and he goes,
yeah,
ooh, dollar. It takes it, puts it in his wallet. Yeah, so that's how he does that.
That's hella funny.
Yeah, no, that's funny. SpongeBob is crazy, man. That's the longest TV show running till this day. 25 years as of today. Yeah.
I miss old cartoons.
First aired on May 1st, 1999.
You remember the old cartoon Pokemon?
Yeah.
So do you ever know about the theory about Pokemon? So the theory is that Ash is in a coma. The whole thing is all in his head.
Really?
Yeah. So in the first episode, where Ash and Pikachu, it was Ash and Pikachu, and there were let me see. Oh yeah, it was Ash and Pikachu, and they were attacked by a flock of sparrows. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
And so this is when Pikachu was not really fucking with Ash because he was just too OP, Pikachu was just too OP, and then he just didn't he wasn't messing with his trainer until Ash stuck up for him, and then Pikachu ended up like doing his thunderbolt or a lightning attack and just killed all of them pretty much.
Yeah.
Right? So the theory is that when that happened, it put Ash in a coma. And that's why in all of his episodes, you see all the nurses are all Nurse Jennies, Officer Jennies, like, you know, they're all the same fucking person because those are the only people that he's met. So he just imagines every other city being the same. Because if you really think about how many fucking Officer Jennies are there going to be? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there's hell of them.
Right. The only reality should be one.
Exactly. So they were saying the whole Pokemon theory was just that he's in a coma.
So like, okay, every Pokemon. Okay, so what do each Pokemon resemble then? Just different fictional.
No, they're all Pokemon. So, but like his journey is all in his head. So the Pokemon, Pikachu, everything was all real, but he's just
his journey. His journey, the best trainer or whatever.
Yeah, it's just all in his head. Like everything that he went through is just all after the first episode is just in his imagination because he's in a coma.
Oh. Can you dream when you're in a coma?
I'm assuming so. I don't know. You want to go in a coma and find out?
Nah, I'm good, bro. I'm good. But would you remember it if you woke up?
Oh, it's Nurse Joy, not Nurse Officer Jenny and Nurse Joy.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, there's plenty of them out there. Man, Pokemon was a good TV show.
Yeah, Pokemon was the shit back in the day.
Hell yeah, it was. You know the Frozen theory about the about her parents going to so Elsa's parents went on a trip
with their brother
and they went to have you ever seen the movie Entangled?
Mm-hmm.
They went to Ireland. I think it was Ireland, right? They went to go see a wedding, and then on their way back they had the boat crashed or whatever, and they had like her parents had another kid because her brother had died in that boat crash. And the island or the continent that they're on is Tarzan.
No, I thought the brother. That's the same brother that was in the boat. From what I remember, is that the boat crashed and the parents and the brother survived, and they were stuck on Tarzan's island. And then Tarzan was just a baby, or Elsa's brother was just a baby, and that's when the jaguar killed their parents, and then the apes took him over to start nursing him.
I think you might be right, but the way I remember reading it was that the brother died. The parents had another kid on the island because she either she was already pregnant or she had gotten pregnant on the island.
It would just make more sense that if it's the same baby, why would you have a whole nother baby? Like, you know, for the
to fill that void. You know what I mean? Like, because
they just crashed on an island.
Yeah, but like they were in like.
I feel like that's just doing too much at that point.
Right, but
like,
okay, let's go off. Yeah, right. But like, you know, going off what you say, like the parents died. Because of the jaguar killed them, and then because the brother is a baby, and so he becomes Tarzan.
Tarzan.
Yeah, and then the connection is that later on when Elsa leaves to find her parents or whatever, she discovers that Tarzan is her brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then also you remember in Frozen how the prince comes to marry her.
Mm-hmm.
And like she's just like, oh, he's just evil, but like he's trying to prevent her from going to look for her parents because he knows like she's not gonna like what she finds. You know what I mean?
That's interesting.
Yeah. And what's the snowman's name? Olaf.
Yeah.
He that's part of her imagination. That's part of her imagination for to resemble her brother, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's one thing, like, that's why because she has to take care of her sister, but she knew when her parents left, she had a baby brother, you know what I mean? And the fact that they didn't return, she kind of starts suffering from like PTSD, or not PTSD, but and she starts making up things about her brother, and that's who Olaf is her brother.
Yeah, there's a really funny scene in that movie Frozen where Olaf like came down the hill from skiing or whatever.
Yeah.
And he had his carrot nose pushed all the way back into the back of his head. and then I think Elsa or whatever her name is came and just smacked it right back into the front. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that's funny.
You heard about the Peter Pan theory?
No.
So apparently, you know how in the show, Peter Pan is just supposed to be the good guy, and Captain Hook is the bad guy.
Oh, I think I've heard this one.
So the theory is that it's the complete opposite, where Captain Hook is actually the good guy trying to save all the Lost Boys, all the kids, because Peter Pan kidnaps them.
Oh.
All those kids are kidnapped, and he's like, "You're gonna be a kid forever," and Captain Hook's trying to save them because he never really says that he's like. Never does anything to the kids. He only wants to hurt Peter Pan.
Right, because he's the bad man.
Exactly.
Yeah. Damn,
so,
I'd never thought of it that way.
So the theory is that Captain Hook is really a good guy, but
damn.
Peter Pan, dude.
Damn, what's wrong with you, Pete?
I know, right?
Man, that's crazy. I never actually thought of it like that. Huh.
Yeah, dude.
Because he always promised them they could always be kids. You know what I mean? They don't have to grow up.
Exactly, because he's crazy. He's fucking crazy. He kidnaps kids and flies them out the window.
Sneaks into the room at nighttime. Oh, man, that's crazy. Man, that's crazy. I never thought of that.
Yep.
Wow.
And you remember the show Pinky and the Brain?
Yeah.
You know that how Brain was supposed to be like the shorter one was supposed to be super smart, and then the dumb tall one, right? But the theory is that Pinky is actually the smart genius, and Brain is the dumb idiot one. Because all right, so think about it. In the what is it called? In the theme song alone, it claims that one of them is a genius and one of them's insane, and everyone always just thinks that Pinky's just the stupid one.
Right.
So you have to think about it. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe Brain is the insane one because he always thinks that he's smart, but he's never.
Right.
Because every time they do like experiments or anything like that, he always fails. And throughout that episode, Pinky makes a suggestion saying that, hey, like, I think you should do this or whatever. And he always just calls him stupid, but he always ends up being right.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right.
He's always right. Damn, that's crazy. He plays him like a fool then, that pretty much.
Exactly.
He plays him like a fool. And, I love Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah.
It was awesome. But that was always attached to the Animaniacs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder what that correlation is.
I don't know. There has to be something.
Right? It has to be something to that because, they're what is there? 3 brothers and a sister, I think it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they always, because they never leave the Warner Brothers Studios, you know what I mean? Like, they're always on the studio's ground messing up shit, you know what I mean? So
always.
That's crazy. But I wonder if there is something like that, man. That's a theory to explore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I like all these conspiracy theories, because these are all, like, shows that we used to watch when we were kids. And it's just such a great, like, like theory that, you never thought about it when you're a kid, but now that you're older, like, oh, it could be this, this, and this.
Yeah. You have seen the one about Aladdin, how it's in a dystopia of like a wasteland after a nuclear war fallout.
Oh, I heard something about that, yeah.
So, like, it's been, Aladdin is stuck in the early years before the nuclear fallout. And the genie is a reference to the Sega Genesis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, it's like video games before the nuclear fallout, and that's what the genie is.
Oh, okay.
But I thought that was interesting because if you look at Aladdin, it's all in the desert in a far distance, past, not future, but like all the way in the past. And how does the sand, like the lion sand castle
For
thing?
the tomb.
Yeah, the tomb where he finds the genie.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how does that come to life? Is that because of the nuclear war? All that radiation brings that to life.
Turn sand into a fucking monster.
You never know. It's a cave. You know what I mean? There's be some spooky shit happening in those caves. You know what I mean?
You got some magical guy who can start doing fucking wishes.
Right? Yeah, how crazy that would be. You know what I mean?
That would be pretty crazy.
You ever seen the?
All right, I got one for you.
Good. Talk in your mic.
It's a Finding Nemo one.
Oh, I think I've heard this.
Okay, so this one is a theory.
I can barely hear you.
this is a theory, okay, that I've always been, interested about. It's that Nemo actually doesn't exist. Marlin's waking up from a barracuda attack to find his family only has one egg. Nemo is the one that survived. What do you guys think?
I did hear some theories about that, and that's why he's so like on edge the whole movie, because he just has like PTSD about the whole situation.
Right. It's like the dad's like grieving over like a sad death in the family.
Yeah,
or something
right,
like that.
right,
It's like he's using his imagination to cope with something.
right.
Like, that's a crazy theory. Like, if you really put some thought into it, that's kind of crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
So Marlin's family was killed by.
So Marlin wakes up from a barracuda attack.
Okay.
On
It
his
was
family.
in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, so Marlin wakes up from a barracuda attack on his family to find that only one of his eggs, Nemo, survived. But there's a theory there. There's a big theory there. The theory is
Sorry, guys, technical difficulties.
sorry. The theory.
Oh my god.
Just answer. Who is it?
No, I'm not gonna answer it. Okay, so as I was saying,
Damn, cuz.
Just answer.
not gonna answer it. The theory. God, dude. So
is the theory that Marlin is the one who attacked his own family?
So let me compose myself.
And
No,
Nemo is figuring it out?
Well, okay, so what the theory is that when after the barracuda attack on the family, Marlin wakes up and he only finds one egg, and it's Nemo. The theory suggests that there's no eggs that survived, and that Marlin is just completely using his imagination
To like cope with
to cope with the fact that he had the barracuda attack that killed the whole eggs and all the family.
Oh, okay.
So he's trying to hold on to something that's not there.
Okay. So Nemo's a figment of his imagination.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, okay, I got you. That's interesting.
Because when people like have shit like that happen to them, they, I'm not saying they go crazy, but things change.
Right. The only way they can cope with is by imagining it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
People's imagination.
Did you ever hear about the Toy Story's real villain?
No, who?
All right, the real villain in Toy Story is Andy's mom, and we see that in Toy Story 2. One of the most emotional scenes from Toy Story 2 is Jonah Kasic's Jessie, that jerking when she loved me montage.
Did I say that again? I don't understand a word you just fucking said.
All right. Hold on. Let me. Okay, so. The theory is that Jessie is.
It's supposed to be Jessie. Jesse's supposed to be Andy's mom's toy from when she was a kid.
Right.
Yeah.
Remember how
I know that theory. Yeah.
Okay. So remember how they had that that montage
of like Jessie. When they show the little girl.
Yeah.
Because
it said it's supposed to be when she loved me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Because if you think about it, so Andy has that cowboy hat, right?
Yeah.
It's not a Woody hat if you really look at it. It's a Jessie hat.
Right.
And his mom gave it to him, and that's probably the same hat she had when she was a kid. So she gave him Woody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because you notice that Andy has worn a human-sized version of Jessie's hat. That's the reason why Jessie is Andy's mom's toy.
Gotcha.
And she had that hat when she was younger, and it passes it along to Andy. And so the theory is that Andy's mom notices Jessie in the toy bag, or after they get the toys back.
Mm-hmm.
She notices Jessie and doesn't like it, and she tries to get rid of the toys, and that's why she passes the toys on to the daycare if you remember.
Oh, that's in the third movie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they go to the daycare, and that's why she's saying you're a grown kid now. You don't need these toys anymore, and that's why she passes it along.
Yeah, that could be a cool theory.
Yeah. So, but Jesse has been in the family for years, way before Woody and Buzz got there.
Yeah. Well, it was mom's toy.
Yeah. So that to me, I was like, dude, I've never thought of it like that. It was crazy. It was just crazy. It's something that I thought about. It was funny.
Did you know? You remember the show, the cartoon Inspector Gadget?
Yeah.
So you remember Inspector Gadget? It was apparently this inspector that ended up having this weird accident, and he got pretty much turned into a robot. And he's with his niece.
Yeah.
What was her name? Penny, I think. I think her name was Penny.
Remember.
But the theory is that Claw, which is the main villain that they're always fighting, is the real Inspector Gadget. He's the real Inspector Gadget, and Inspector Gadget is just a robot.
Really?
Yep, and that's why Claw.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's why Claw never hurts Penny. I believe that's her name. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I do remember. Yeah, it is Penny.
Yeah.
So Claw never really hurts her or ever tries to really do her any harm, only to Inspector Gadget.
Huh. Interesting.
All right, I got a good one for you guys. The Willy Wonka theory.
Oh, give it to me.
All right, let's hear this one.
The Willy Wonka theory.
Let's hear
Now,
this.
before I go off on this one, what do you guys think I'm going to say?
I don't know. I haven't really heard too many.
What's one of them that you've heard?
I haven't really heard it.
I don't think I've ever heard of any Willy Wonka.
I heard that it was like a slaughterhouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever? Okay, hold on. Have you ever thought it was just like a little creepy that he has a bunch of people going over to a chocolate factory, and then it's just like a wonderland with fountains and stuff everywhere, and there's a canoe that goes down the thing.
The river, yeah.
The river.
The chocolate
It's a
river,
chocolate
yeah.
river. Well, a lot of people who paid attention to Willy Wonka and like everything that came out about him think that he's a serial killer.
And he kills the kids to make chocolate.
No,
No, he uses to feed them to the Oompa Loompas.
Damn. No. So he's a calculated murderer who takes delight in luring children into his factory and planning out each one of their demises. Like each person, like he has a very set way of having their demise met.
Right.
So it's like when you're watching the movie and you have ever like seen an accident happen.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Accident. Air
Yeah.
quotes are happening because
Right.
you guys can't see accident.
Accident, yeah.
He's a serial killer because how many air quotes again accidents has he had? How many accidents has he had?
So if you look at the original Willy Wonka movie, the first one before Johnny Depp played the role.
Yeah. I love Johnny Depp, but that movie was
Gene
just,
Wilder's Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
So you remember the fat kid
Augustus?
Augustus? Remember he was trying to
Drink the water.
drink the chocolate.
Yeah.
And he falls in and he gets sucked up by the tube and
Yep.
stuff. We never really see what happens to them.
Well, you never
Yeah.
see what happens to any of them because after Augustus, it was who was it? It was the chick who ate the gum, and then she turned into a
swallowed
giant
to
blueberry.
Yeah.
And then it was I think it was the girl who wanted the golden egg, and then she fell down the
spoiled little
chute.
brat, yeah.
And it goes.
What it called? Mr. Wonka, how much for one of those gooses?
And then the other kid got shrunken and stuff like that. Yeah.
One other thing I always found weird is that how come the Oompa Loompas are always ready with a different song on every different accident?
Oompa, oompa,
I think they're slaves.
oompa-dee-doo.
I
So
think-
that doesn't explain
There's multiple theories about it. Yes, that's one of them.
Like they're like Willy Wonka just holding them captive. Like
No, but
you're working for me.
So remember the original movie with Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka, Charlie and his grandfather, they go in, but they're the last ones to leave unscathed and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is that why Wonka was so mad because they made it through the whole tour and they did not fall for one of his tricks?
That's a big one because
So
he was mad.
So you're pretty much. So what you're pretty much telling me that this whole thing was a candy version of Hunger Games.
Yes.
with a bunch of chocolate and a chocolate
A whole
river.
bunch of candy bros, like the one that can survive the horror house wins.
So, but you remember how they drank that bubbly soda and then
It was supposed to kill them because of the fans.
I was gonna say something about that. You guys,
Well,
have you ever guys watched Family Guy and then they drink the beer and then they go up in the tube
And they start farting?
Yeah. They start farting to come down.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, like, because that's how they were supposed to. Well, that's how you get down for the fan. So yeah, no, that's a theory then. I mean, I would look at it like that. You know what I mean? And then, so you know how they go into the elevator and it shoots up above the city limits?
Yeah.
So you remember how he was like, he gives them the candy and he was like, this is not supposed to be leaked to anybody.
It was the everlasting gobstopper.
Yeah. So anyways, so you know how Charlie gives it back to Mr. Wonka and then says, hey, you know what? Like, you can keep this and stuff. And he was just like, my boy, you won.
You won, yeah.
But what did he win? He won the chocolate factory, right?
Yeah.
So he said,
pretty much
what if he's training him from there and he inherits the chocolate factory but trains him to be a serial killer just like him and how to run the chocolate factory as a maze like Jigsaw, you know what I mean?
So
like
that'd be crazy.
You want to hear a crazy theory about Jigsaw?
Yeah.
So you ever watch Home Alone?
Oh my god, I was just thinking about that one. With
Macaulay Culkin.
Kevin.
Yeah, Macaulay Culkin. So they say Kevin ends up growing up to become Jigsaw later on in life because as a kid, he came up with all these elaborate ass plans
to stop the house robbers. Yeah.
And it was an adrenaline rush for him, and he wanted to get it back. And then he kept doing it little by little.
Damn.
And then
I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
All the crazy stories.
That is crazy.
You cannot tell me what Jigsaw does isn't some Kevin McAllister type stuff.
No,
You know what I mean?
no,
Like,
yeah.
that is some straight.
Hey, his mom always in the movie. Kevin.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy. I never thought of it. I actually never would have put that together. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Man, what if? Damn.
You never know.
Yeah.
Never know.
There's a lot out there.
There's
man.
a lot of different conspiracies.
Yeah,
but I got one last one for you.
Go for it.
You ever watch Courage?
Courage the Cowardly Dog? Yeah.
So Courage the Cowardly Dog, you know how every episode's all monsters and everything like that, and he's just trying to save his owners?
Yeah.
Like, where's the old two people's names?
That's a good question.
Eustace and Mariel?
Yeah, Mariel. Yeah,
I think it was Eustace and Mariel.
I knew it was
So, apparently, there are no monsters in any of those episodes. It's that he's just a dog and his imagination gets crazy.
A schizophrenic dog.
So
it's Eustace and
so how he thinks he lives on like a huge ass farmland and stuff is really not that big, but compared to a dog, it looks gigantic. So they live in a normal fucking house, and that the people that he gets scared of are like people he just doesn't know. He has super bad like anxiety, like the mailman or you know someone just coming by the house or something like that. And he just imagines. That's why if you really look at it, none of those characters are like really tripping. Only the dog is. You know, only Courage is the one tripping off like whatever's going on.
Yeah,
because it's not real.
Yeah.
It's not real. Yeah.
Oh shit, that's crazy. I never would have thought of it like that.
It's the whole show is just from a dog's perception.
Damn. Well, yeah, you kind of get that from the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, it's all from the dog's perspective, but that's why he feels like he's got to save his owners.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's crazy. I never thought of it that way. That is crazy. But I got one for you right now. Man, what was it? It was just on top of my head. Man, what was it? What's that movie with all the balloons and the guy, the old guy?
Up?
Up. Carl was dead all along in the movie, the old guy.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. So, so apparently the kid is the grandson to Carl, and that's why he keeps going back to that house, and that's why it was so important.
Grandson. What is it called? I heard a different theory, but okay. continue because he never had kids.
Well, yeah. Him
and his wife never had kids.
But hold on. This is what I'm trying to say. So the theory is that if they did have kids, they put the kid up for adoption. You know, Carl and his wife put up the kid for adoption, right?
Dude was Asian.
But I'm just saying.
That little Asian boy.
So anyways, so the son marries a girl, they get married and they have kid. So the kid is the Boy Scout, right?
Yeah.
And he figures out, he goes, oh man, because he looks into his family tree and stuff like that. And he goes, oh my God, like I have grandparents that live very close to me. So he dresses up as a Boy Scout, goes over to the house and knocks on the door, and you know, and then he goes over there and he's kind of like trying to pitch him on the idea of a Boy Scout so he can get in close with him. Mm-hmm. But that's not really him being alive. His parents, the kid's parents died, and he's making up a grandparent in his head, and that's why he has to save that house and stuff like that, because it's so near and dear to him, because that's his parents' house.
That's a weird one, because I heard another theory where kind of the same thing, where he's dead, but his whole journey is him going to the afterlife to find his paradise, which what he was really trying to do was find his heaven,
right?
His little,
with his wife.
Yeah. So the theory is that he's dead, and the Boy Scout kid isn't actually a real kid. It's like a Reaper. It's like Grim Reaper, and is there to help him with his journey along the way.
I would have more imagined that would have been like his guardian angel to
like
guide him.
Guardian angel, Reaper, whatever you want to call it, but he's there to pretty much guide him to like get to where he needs to, even though he gets annoyed by him or whatnot. But all he does is wants to be a loving little kid, and he's just following, and he's just helping him along the way as a journey and stuff into the afterlife.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think either or. I mean, they're both good conspiracies, but I think that if the kid, like, back to what I was saying, it's like if he was grown up in that house, you know what I mean, and his parents died, and he's too young to save the house. You know how, like, because they're gonna demolish the house and stuff and build like some new building or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's trying to save his house, so he consumes the role as like a grandpa, you know what I mean, as Carl, you know what I mean, and tries to save the house, and the only way he can save the house is by moving the house to somewhere else, you know what I mean, to protect his parents' legacy and stuff like that, you know what I mean?
His parents' legacy? Carl's the old man.
No, talking about the kids' parents.
The
yeah.
Kids?
Because you remember, we never actually get to see his parents in the movie.
I don't know. That whole theory is kind of just like, doesn't really make sense to me a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of get what you're saying, but at the same time, it's like, I think that's just, for a conspiracy theory, that's just way too in-depth. Someone had to spend way too much time thinking of all that shit. Like, I like the more simple, sweet ones that actually make sense.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know.
But you never know.
Yeah, definitely. Never know. But I just think it's one of those ones, anything's possible. You know what I mean? So, but if you took them all and put them all together, all those conspiracy theories, you can put them all together. What's the one thing you think stands out the most that could be the most realist conspiracy theory out there out of all of them?
What? Are you asking my opinion?
Yeah, like what do you think is more
out of all the
plausible?
conspiracy theories, that's the most possible?
Yeah.
They all have some truths to them, in my opinion. Like some more than others, because some of them are just kind of imagination, but some kind of show like kind of some truths to them. So
right.
Like give you an example, the Flintstone ones, where we're talking about them and like how are they supposed to be in dinosaur times, but then they have like TVs and cranes and shit like that, you know what I mean?
Right.
And they're like building all this shit, and they're living like they're in normal society, and I don't know, stuff like that is very possible. But then there's also the ones that are kind of just outlandish. So
right.
There's the one that I believe the most is Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka.
I mean, but you know what? I like the one the most is the Jigsaw and the Home Alone.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
That one was a
You like
good
that
one.
one?
That one's a good one.
I think that one could be the most plausible one because
Yeah.
he does love to trap people and make them, hurt them and stuff like that. Or
You gotta think about it, the whole time Kevin was doing it too. He was like enjoying it.
right, exactly.
He was laughing,
yeah, he
having
was laughing,
fun.
dancing around,
Yeah. No, I think
just
that's
a good
that's
time.
one of the ones that I think is the most plausible one because he really does, put effort into his little tricks and stuff and his little traps and shit. So I think
So
he
what
could
does
really do
what
it.
does Jigsaw like to do? He likes to punish people for doing bad things.
Exactly.
And what does Kevin like to do?
Punish people that like to do
Yeah,
bad things.
that's what I'm saying.
Exactly. So, but if you like our content today, please like and subscribe to our Facebook page, Shoot-the-Shit Pod 25. That's our Facebook and our Instagram account at also Shoot the Shit Podcast 25.
Hell lagged on the 25.
Sorry. But yeah, that's our today's episode. Like and subscribe for more content. Big shout out to Mr. Motherfucking J.
Thank you.